Welcome to the Franc Show, a fun experience as we highlight community with real conversation, community development, local fashion creators, and the education of our youth. The Franc Show, for Hawaii, by Hawaii. Brought to you by Kapa Mag. We are more than a magazine. Aloha, and welcome back to the Franc Show. Ladies and gentlemen, guys, gals, and non-binary pals, we are here today in the amazing Cat's Closet Boutique. Y'all, we are here today. We have some very, very interesting people to talk with today. Again, for those of us who are new or have never seen the Franc Show before, hello, welcome to Earth. I'm Frank. Here on the Franc Show, we cover, all of the best of Hawaii, the creme de la creme. Of course, we have so much coverage and footage of all of the amazing hula and culture and everything else that we have that's amazing here in Hawaii. But there are so many artists and so many up-and-comers and so many creatives who have been doing their thing for so long, and they need a little bit more attention and a little bit more of a spotlight. And that is what we offer here on the Franc Show. So today, you guys, I am honored and just delighted and so excited to talk to the amazing Miss Miranda here of Cat's Closet. Can we get a big round of applause and a big aloha from Miranda? Hello, hello.
Hello.
Thank you so much for sitting down with us today.
Well,
And letting us in the amazing space.
Well,
Thank you. It's good to be here. So, for you, Miranda, just for the folks at home, can you let us know, and can we start off with, who are you, and how long have you been in Hawaii?
I'm Miranda Katt. I've been in Hawaii since the late 80s, actually. Came here originally in the military.
Aha! Wow, okay.
Yeah.
And then what do you do? You do a lot. So what do you do?
Here at Cat's Closet, we're basically I call it the Burlesque Lounge.
Yes.
We offer training, education. Prior to COVID, we were doing monthly shows. I've written a burlesque play that we're going to start casting next month, hopefully.
Fantastic.
So when we can open back up, we're
Right.
going to have more people, more visitors in Chinatown, because the goal of Cat's Closet is to provide a safe space for everyone, regardless of your body type, stereotypical understanding of how people are.
Right.
I'm a straight heterosexual male, actually,
Yep.
that likes to dress up. So welcome everyone else out there that likes the same thing.
That's
I do.
right, that's right.
Right. But I think that we really need more of the opportunity for people to have a safe space to do things. It gets a little crazy here. I do have a house drag queen who likes to make a mess, but we always clean up afterwards. And again, I curate vintage goods. I've been doing this, Cat's Closet Incorporated 2 years ago. We're a corporation, and I've been doing burlesque for about 15 years.
Fantastic. Has all of the burlesque that you've been doing in the past 15 years, has that all been in drag, or have you done other forms of burlesque?
Every time I perform, I am Miranda Katt.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Where else have you performed outside of Hawaii?
I performed in Seattle,
Seattle.
At this meeting called Burlesque. It was actually like a peer review. It's not really performing.
Aha.
But yeah, you can actually get feedback from people that have been doing it for 20 or 30 years. One of my favorite performers, Tigger, actually gave me 3 pages of notes. So he was very specific in analyzing my act and telling me how to change things to do things better, to be more the character that I was
Well-rounded Miranda. Yes, a well-rounded Miranda.
Yes.
So for you, how long have you been operating out of Chinatown? Because you and I are Chinatown artists. For me especially, I started performing arts and stuff like that in Chinatown, kind of more as an independent artist.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, as a kid, you do high school plays and all that stuff.
Sure.
But when I came to Chinatown and was a teenager, I was like, oh my God, there's skating and drag and burlesque and everything is here. So how long have you been here in Chinatown?
15 years.
Fantastic.
Yeah. I actually started taking classes with Pretty Peacock Productions.
Ah.
I went on stage. My first stage performance was at the Arts and Marks Garage.
Yes.
Back in the day.
Yes.
Yeah, and we used to do the Rocky Horror Show there, and I'm a big Rocky Horror
That's
fan.
right, the Rocky Horror Show, which I miss so
Yeah.
much. Okay, so what inspires Miranda? Where's Miranda come from?
Miranda loves stockings, nails, stilettos.
Stilettos.
So, yeah, I'm all about the tactile sensation, I think,
I love that.
of the feminine form.
Yes.
people are like, oh my God, you're making a mockery of things. Well, burlesque is to make a mockery of. That's where the term burlesque comes from.
That's right.
From the Italian. So, sure, but I think that I try to present it in a way such that it's not offensive. Because I'm not trying to be a woman. I don't want to be a woman.
Right.
People ask me, do you want to be a woman? My wife asked me if I want to be a woman. I'm like, absolutely not.
Yeah. No.
I like ladies.
Yes. Yes.
And I like my koi parts. So, that being said, Miranda is lingerie, stockings, stilettos. I have over 100 kilos. You've seen my back room.
I sure have.
We'll see some B-roll where
We'll
there's
see
all my
some of
shoes.
the back room.
Yeah, I've been collecting shoes for quite a while. So.
It's all about the shoe collection.
Anyone
Anyone can tell you that.
Right.
What inspired the closet itself? Because you haven't been doing the closet the whole time. So where did this come from? All of this amazingness.
Yeah, actually 15 years ago I started doing makeovers for boys that want to be girls. Most of my customers came from Craigslist, and the majority of them were married military people who, like, their wife found their panties. And everyone has a story.
Everyone has a story. The anthropology of it all.
Right, right. So I wanted to help people like myself that were kind of, I don't want to say marginalized, but there was a dichotomy between cross-dressers and drag queens.
Correct.
And there's some hierarchical thing that I didn't understand as a straight man talking to drag queens. And I didn't get very much help. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to get on YouTube. And there were a couple of drag queens that would come over and help me do makeup and things like that. But my makeup's not really drag. I want to do more like daytime natural makeup, unless I'm performing and then
we'll pack it on.
More glitter.
We'll pack it on.
There's never enough glitter.
Yeah, I agree. Glitter the house down.
Yeah.
So where do you find all of these garments? Because you have such a variety in here. There's a lot in here. So where do you outsource all of these fabulous garments?
Everywhere. Usually estate sales, vintage. I go to vintage stores. When I travel to the mainland, I go find things on the mainland. The Downtown Art Center, found that pink thing right there yesterday. The Downtown Art Center. They're having a sale. I find them from all over the place. I'm more into the 50s to the 80s.
Okay, that was my next question.
I'm not into like the 90s streetwear. There's enough people doing streetwear.
Agreed. And that's so back.
And I'm like, I'm more about the 50s, 60s.
She's vintage.
Chiffon.
Yeah, a chiffon. Yes. There definitely is a lot of variety. So is there anything in here that you don't carry besides the 90s vintage and the streetwear and that look? Is there do you have t-shirts in here? Do you have tank tops in here?
I do have some t-shirts, but not a lot. Because again, that's a whole niche, and you go down that rabbit hole, then you have stacks of stacks of stuff. I have enough things already.
Yes, I don't need anything else.
Yeah, I actually, honestly, I was talking to my friend Leigh from the stash around the corner, and she's been collecting for a long time, but she's a collector, and she said, we have a problem. We collect, we don't sell. That's the problem. Right? And as I was touching this beautiful Liberty House,
yes,
like 1970s dress that had like a very expensive price tag on it, I said, I want this one. She said, it's not for sale.
It's not. We collect.
But everything's for sale in here. I collect. I also love 60s lingerie.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So.
What do you notice about fashion consumption, particularly in the vintage or in the repurposed clothing, that is maybe different here in Hawaii that we don't see anywhere else, if at all?
I think that the inventory it's very competitive to find quality pieces. I mean, like there's a couple of pieces behind you that took a long time to find, and people don't really. The consumers here, they don't understand how difficult it is to find some of those pieces. Yeah. But people that know, they know. Like people that know that they want a 1960s Kamehameha or the Pake Mumu. Yeah. They know what they're looking for.
Right.
So those customers I love because they're very specific. So I keep little model fit cards for those customers. Right. And I'm like, oh, that was Nancy. Yeah. Okay, here's Nancy's piece.
That's right.
So it's more personal shopping and more curated pieces that way.
And burlesque. And our drag community here, what do you notice that is something that's specific or unique in our scene here in Hawaii that maybe we don't have anywhere else?
It's a very tight, the drag community, I've just recently become intimate with them. I've done a couple of shows with some drag queens. And I think on the mainland, the shows I've been to and the backstage things I see on the mainland, people are just in their own zone. Yeah. Here, backstage, everybody's helping each other. Yeah. And I think that's just a thing that we do in Hawaii, is because even when like my daughter went to college on the mainland, and she went to a private school, and then there was a kid from Radford, both at Chicago, and they were like, "Hey, you're from Hawaii.
Yes.
You're from Hawaii.
Yes.
Let's go buy some rice."
Yeah.
So it's more collaborative, I think.
Okay.
But it is still competitive, and people are still, trying to do their thing. But I don't have anything to prove to anyone. I do my own thing in my own space. Yeah.
What for you is your mission as far as your performance, as far as this fabulous space? What is your, just at the end of the day, this is what I'm doing and this is why I'm doing everything I'm doing?
Great question. Yeah, I actually just graduated from a thing called Del Sart. Joe Williams in New York City, 3 Pillars Arts, plug for Joe. Basically, Del Sart is a form of movement. So if you watch any of the American Academy of the Performing Arts, like Lucille Ball, Red Skelton, when they go like, bang, hey, right?
Yes.
Because sound precedes gesture, that's what Del Sart teaches. Which it's been very beneficial to my performing as well as to my daily life, because it's just about having balance.
The balance.
Yeah.
Balance.
So my mission is to share that with people, and I think when people need it, they'll find us, and we can help people to find balance through that. And it's not just for performance, where people are like, oh my God, it's so beautiful, we need to do this. Right. But that's also the way that you can communicate in your daily life.
In your day-to-day.
And do things, and then you just have your intellect over your volition, and then you look like you're more self-assured.
Right. And how you're carrying yourself and just kind of moving through life.
Yeah.
I want to go back. So you mentioned that you have some classes in here.
Yes.
So what do you teach in here?
We have a Wednesday night class. It's no stress. It's called Fun with Feathers.
Yeah.
And we basically parade around the space with bows. Because again, the feathers is tactile sensation.
Yes.
And people they go like, oh, that looks fun, until you touch it, then you're like, oh, wow. Okay. It's a tactile thing.
It is.
And it's a touch thing. And it's a secret speakeasy venue. So you got to know how to get here.
Yeah.
You got to know who to get here with.
Yeah.
So again, I want. My mission is to have people that have never seen burlesque come to a show and be a bit scared and enthralled all at the same time.
Love that. Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Right? Because the things we do here are like not normal, I don't want to say mainstream, but it's performance art.
Yeah.
And I allow my performers to bring their own acts here, and I kind of try to put it together and curate it so that it makes a cohesive show.
Do you have other performers that perform or work in this space that are not doing drag or burlesque?
Yes. I have two burlesque performers from Cherry Blossom Cabaret. They show up, Chicharrones and Madame X.
Yes.
Yeah, Madame X teaches classes across the street on Thursdays. She does great choreography. She's a fantastic tango dancer. She's a fantastic person, human being, great person. So our format is we have one guest spot. So I have a guest performer come in. And I built that intentionally, so like when my friends from New York come, and I'm like, hey, come on the second Saturday, here's your guest spot.
Yeah, I got a slot for you.
Right. My friend Norm came and I made him do 3 acts instead of 2. So he was prepared, sort of. Sort of. I was like, we want Norm. So,
Do you have friends that come here often? I mean, I know coronavirus, but I mean when we're not in the middle of a pandemic. Do you have friends that come out often from Seattle or from New York that do perform here? Or is it kind of more just like as they come?
Yeah, as they come, if they're coming on vacation or whatever. And one of my friends is actually coming here on her honeymoon, and I'm like, okay, we'll change the dates.
I'll move this around. Yeah,
because the dates don't coincide with our second Saturday. So we're going to do a little special private show for her.
Fun!
Maybe just her family.
A family show. A family show. Speaking of coronavirus, what happened in this space? What happened with you? I know that the performing community, especially in Chinatown, was like very kind of day by day. So how was going through 2020 in this space with the business and with the performing arts? Like, how was that for you?
I was very lucky and very fortunate because, again, this is my house. So
one-stop shop.
I did a lot of private shopping, again, for those people that know what they're looking for. So I pay the rent. And I did some private classes. And again, I love feathers, and I gave a couple of fan classes. I do classic fan dance performance based. loosely modeled after Sally Rand back in the 50s. Everyone that does burlesque fan dances models Sally.
They know all about Sally.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That is so cool though, and I'm super happy that you were able to stay afloat and still keep your truth of the business, because a lot of businesses had to either do nothing or change what their model was to something that a lot of them didn't really like, or they just completely kind of blew up in trying to do all of the above. So I'm glad that you were able to kind of like have a stream, steady kind of rhythm throughout all the pandemonium.
Yeah, I do have a great board of directors that helps me focus. We just had our board meeting, and we're working on more online type businesses and opportunities. Selling things on Instagram, for example, Instagram Marketplace. I need to move my inventory, so I need to move it to other people that are not here in Hawaii. So that's the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to...
So you do have stores. So if so, like, I'm in like San Francisco, and I want like a vintage keiki mumu, and I find
you can find me, and you can find my catalog.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
So I'm trying to expand that. And I've got friends in Japan also for distribution in Japan.
Fantastic.
So I know their sizes. I'm looking for them.
Right.
And I have my little index card.
Yeah, I gotta get the sizing.
Yeah.
So you mentioned a few things throughout the duration of this fabulous interview. And so those were some of your up and coming projects. So if we could, I'd like to discuss some of those. So one of them is you wrote a burlesque show.
Yes.
And so if you can give us, and you know, we're not going to give out any spoilers. We're not going to, y'all got to pay for that.
Sure.
But if you could give us like a little, a 2-second of what that show is going to look like.
Okay, so sure, Cat's Closet's here in the historic Old Blaisdell Hotel, and this building was built in 1912.
It was.
1933, post-prohibition, the bar that was back in the courtyard was the first bar that got the liquor license back in 1933. So I call my show Prohibition. We start downstairs, we play a little high-low game, we separate the groups up, we run around, we do a little wild goose chase. It's 1933 meets circus, meets film noir, meets aerial.
Yes.
We're going to have some aerial acts as well. I've got an aerial hard point, so it's all going to be safe. It's going to look like it's a little crazy.
Which is what we want.
That's the idea.
That's what we want.
The intent is everyone comes and they witness something they perhaps have not experienced before. And they leave feeling like, wow, that was both a little unnerving, yet maybe I want to take a fan class.
Yeah, but maybe, but do I want to do that?
Right.
Yes.
So that's the intention, is to get those people to expand their horizons a little bit, to reach out and to say like, hey, okay, yes, I'm a man in a dress. This is not that weird. Come to our show. You'll have a great time.
Yeah.
You'll meet some new people. You make new friends. We're going to have gay people here, we're going to have straight people here, we're going to have all kinds of people.
Everyone's here.
We'll help the elderly up the stairs because the elevator stops running at 4 p.m., so we have to take the stairs.
The stairs.
Yes.
I love that because it's such a homage to the building, to the space that houses us. And especially here at Kapa, we're all about, especially our historic sites, but really, where does art live? Where is it held? Where are the garments being stored? Where is the equipment being stored? We love to kind of talk about that and kind of go behind the scenes for that. So I love that the show has a technical and kind of a romantical element to the history of the building. And of course the history of Hawaii, because that is a very fun little piece of history, the first liquor license. So beyond that show and expanding our outreach to garment distribution and things like this, what do you see for you, or what would you like to see or think about or manifest for what would be next? So maybe like 5-ish years.
Oh, good question. I keep thinking larger space, but then I'm like, no.
Yeah, I love the intimacy of this space.
It's very intimate.
Yeah.
And even my out-of-town performers would come, they're like, oh my God, when I perform in the Slipper Room, that's a tiny theater. It only holds 250 people. And I'm like, we only have 20.
Yeah, honey.
Honey, we only have 20. So. Yeah, it's intimate. I'd like to get a bigger space, but I think just producing and promoting and cross-promoting with other producers is probably the way to go, because there are venues. The venues need revenue. The venues need to fill their spaces. They need to have bodies, and they're doing what bodies do. And the audience needs tactile sensation, and we need human interaction again, because we've had the absence of human interaction for so long. And I think that some people forgot how to behave in that environment.
I agree. I completely agree.
Right. So we need to teach them and educate them on how to behave in the environment. So I always talk about consent and how our shows are held. And if the performer needs your help taking off a garment, and they go like, hey, unzip me, you have the consent to unzip them.
Correct.
Right. But otherwise, don't touch my
Don't touch your performers.
Right.
Don't touch
That's
them.
you're stuffing dollars in my butt.
Right, unless you're giving the money.
Right. Yeah.
Hands off.
Right.
So okay, I love that. So even if it's just a spatial expansion, it's just the energy expansion of connecting everyone again and reminding them the protocol of performing arts, but as well as the protocol of just each other and ourselves. I love that, absolutely.
Just being a nice human being. That's all, right?
Look good and have a good time.
Right?
It's really not that hard. It sure isn't. Miranda, thank you so much for sitting down and talking with me today.
Thank you.
Is there anything that we didn't discuss that you'd like to go over?
No, just thank you for supporting the Chinatown Arts.
Absolutely.
And come to Chinatown. We have great restaurants. We have great bars. We have the oldest bar in Chinatown, Smitty's.
Smitty's, baby. Yes.
If you're not scared to go in.
Right.
But you can go there with us.
Yeah.
We'll be happy to
you might find some of us down there.
You'll find us. Look us up. We'll be happy to take you around and show you our home called Chinatown. Sure.
Fabulous. Thank you so much, Miranda.
Thank you.
We will see you on the stage. We will.
Thank you.
And you guys, come on down and shop, okay? You guys have to come on down, get some garments. There are all sorts of amazing clothes in here. There's a little bit of something for everybody, so please come on down. And yes, Chinatown. There is so much history and culture in Chinatown, and there's just a lot going on, honey, even in a coronavirus. So come on down, you guys. Go find Kat, hit her up. Miss Miranda needs all the aloha she can get, baby, and so does Kapa. So don't forget to subscribe. We'll see you guys at the next Franc Show or production. Aloha, everybody, and we'll see you next time.